All right, guys, welcome back. Going over UFC 281. These guys are at MSG right around the corner from me. Let's go over Adesanya, Pereira. First, say thank you to our sponsor, Tampa Bless, Home Team Do Good. Link is in the description below. All right, we got Israel Adesanya, minus 210 favorite. As of yesterday, I checked the lines. 33 years old. He's 23-1. And we know that he's coming off beating Jared Cannonier, Robert Whitaker, Marvin Vittori, just cleaning out the division over and over. And we know his only loss is when he went up in weight and Jan wrestled him. All right, he just kind of laid on top of him. He didn't do too much damage to him, but he got the victory. He's going up against Alex Pereira, ranked number 4, plus 180 underdog here. He's 35 years old. He's 6-1 MMA record, and he's getting the title shot. I love it. 6-fight winning streak. His last fight was that amazing, brutal KO of Sean Strickland, who we know's got a chin and good boxing skills. And Pereira's in my other back corner over in Danbury training with Glover. Tom, what do you see happening here? This is a good one. And most people do know the back history who are real into it. Those that don't, before I give it over to Tom, these guys both were phenomenal kickboxers. Pereira's got 2 victories, and the last victory over Adesanya in kickboxing was a brutal carried out in a stretcher. Adesanya's only knockout in history is owned by this man, just for people who don't know that. But Tom, take it over. How do you see this one playing out?
I was just messing around right there, trying to make sure my Wi-Fi was all right. All right, yo, I'm stoked on this one. I mean, like, you know, there is a little bit of potentially a psychological advantage, depending on how much Israel allows that to play into his mind, because he does have 2 losses to this man, although none of them were in MMA. It's a different sport. It was in kickboxing. Kickboxing, yes, that is in MMA, but there's other things in MMA that are not in kickboxing. And I think that's what Izzy needs to at least act like he's going to do. He needs to pretend, potentially fake the takedown. Fake the takedown. Bring in another aspect to it that Pereira is not used to. Okay, if you just want to... You can hear me,
Yep,
right, Marky?
here you go.
Okay, yeah. If you want to just make it a straight old school glory kickboxing match, then, I think it's much more up in the air then. If you want to mix it up a little and fake for those takedowns, and potentially, I would love to see Izzy actually take him down. Izzy's not a strong ground fighter, but I would say that he's stronger than Pereira is. I think Izzy might be like a purple belt. You just don't see him down there that much. I would love to see him pull a takedown. Of course, everybody's looking for the striking, but Izzy is very calculated. Even in his fights against people that are nowhere near as dangerous a striker as Pereira, he's not going to just come in there and decide to trade shots with you normally. He is more on the John Jones, look, we're trying to win this, keep the belt. That's his goal. So I don't know. If he lets himself slip and get into a punch out, that would not be to his favor, I don't think. But you never know. He could put this dude out too. It's been a long time. I was looking at it, and Pereira has never seen round 4 or 5 in the UFC. He has seen, though, 5-round fights in kickboxing. Right. So he has been there like that, but never in the UFC. So this will be a test to that if it does end up making the championship rounds. Also, if you look at Pereira, he went Bruno Silva, a decision. Bruno's pretty tough.
Bruno's very tough.
Yeah, but he's had some recent losses as well. Lost a decision. I mean, he won a decision against Bruno Silva. Then he jumped right up to Strickland, beat him, and now he's jumping right up to Izzy. He's really getting the quick pace here, while other people are going to have like 3 other fights in there before they see Izzy easily.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely on that one.
But Pereira trains with Glover, like you said, so he should be getting that grappling and groundwork in, should be getting a lot better, but I don't think it's been enough time to cover to where he'd be better than Izzy at that. This is against pretty much probably all predictions, but you know what? I would like to see Izzy take him down, possibly get the GNP, or a sub win, Izzy's first ever sub victory over in round
I
two
hear
or three
MSG
over.
boo. I hear
Yeah,
MSG boo.
yeah,
Is he trying to get takedowns?
yep. I think MSG would be excited about that because what you could get a boo is if it gets too calculated in the standing and it becomes these dudes dancing around for 5 rounds. Okay, that's where you could really get the boo. But if Izzy wants to go for the victory here, you're faking the takedowns. You're landing some punches, so he's worried because it is working on him. Then you get the takedown. You go for some GMP, and maybe that sub opens up. But I'm going with Izzy round 2 or 3 finish GMP or
Oh, okay.
sub,
All right.
or potentially, of course, what I what might prove to be not as exciting a fight would be potentially the decision. But it could be a banger.
All
I
right.
mean,
All
I
right.
don't know if it's gonna turn into that but we'll see. That's my prediction. I'm going with Izzy, GMP, or sub round 2 or 3 or a
Yeah,
decision.
I'm loving this fight. I think the bookies have it right, but I'm leaning towards Alex here. I just feel this fight favors him. Izzy has the experience. He has better MMA. But when do we see Izzy do what you're talking about? Wrestle and use BJJ? We don't unless he's getting up from other guys taking him down. Vittori or Whitaker or whoever's trying to get him down. Bejeda has elite kickboxing. Should have enough cardio for 5 rounds, no problem. I know if Izzy forces him to wrestle, maybe not, but we've seen his takedown defense is getting better and better. He doesn't have to be brilliant on the ground. He just has to be brilliant at not going to the ground, Chuck Liddell style, which I think this dude can do. He's a 2 division kickboxing champ. I feel this fight's just more tailored for him than a lot of other guys if he would have had to beat those other guys. Someone like Marvin Vittori who would have really tested his wrestling cardio versus Adesanya, who I don't think is going to test his wrestling cardio. And I also don't think people realize how damn big this guy is. That's why he's going to be tough to get to the ground, even for Adesanya. If you go, I think I showed you the picture. Dominic Reyes is up training with Glover, a light heavyweight. Glover, a light heavyweight. Alex Bejeda, a middleweight. All 3 of them in the picture. He looks so much bigger than both of those guys. It's ridiculous. The dude is so big. He just looks so lean that he looks kind of small in there. But that dude is a monster. And that's another big thing here. What's up?
I was gonna say, I was looking at his record in kickboxing.
Yeah.
But he has losses. He's not like
Right.
undefeated. Same with Izzy. Izzy had losses as well. But Pereira had 2 TKO losses in his career in kickboxing to this dude called Jason Willinas. And Jason Willinas also has a win over Israel. But Jason went on like a streak of losses towards the end of his glory, and he kind of transitioned into MMA, and he's 2-2 in MMA in some alternate leagues other promotions other than the UFC. So it didn't necessarily fully translate over, but we're seeing it translate with these 2 guys. But I just thought that was an interesting
Right. Yeah, I mean,
just stat because you have a guy that beat both these guys.
you do. But here's the other big thing. Adesanya always normally has a height and reach advantage that he's not going to have in this one. That's a massive factor for me. We also don't know what Israel Adesanya is thinking. His team has been saying the whole time, oh, Alex doesn't deserve a shot. He doesn't deserve a shot. All the time, Adesanya's like, I'll clean anyone out in this division. I want new blood. I want fresh blood. But when it came to Alex, they were like, oh, we think he should have to beat these other guys first. It wasn't like, let me beat this guy and finish this once and for all. He's got 2 victories over me. I'm going to end it here. It wasn't like that. They got him to sign, but the UFC gets everybody to sign the big high-profile fights. It's a money game, right? That's why people love the UFC, and that's why boxing's having a hard time. UFC makes the fights happen. You take this fight or you don't fight, and we'll strip you. It's a good move. You have to do that. Guys need to fight these guys. But I got this weird feeling here. Does some of this get into Izzy's head, and does he try to engage more to go for a KO to prove himself, to prove he's advanced,
Right.
to prove he's better?
I was thinking,
And I don't think
yes.
that's the right game plan for him.
No,
It-
that's what you
Yeah,
don't
that's what you don't
do.
want to do. We saw Bejeda. This guy still has the power. He still has that dynamite in his hands. I mean, that thing didn't even connect on Strickland. He got him under here, sits him down hard, and then he just goes for the finish. And Strickland is was on a big time roll, and he loves to get hit. That dude just loves to fight, and he sat him down, boy. I'm actually going the opposite way. Bejeda fighting out of Connecticut, my home state right now. I'm going round 2. I think he gets the KO finish. I think it gets into Adesanya's head. Now, the card market goes, Adesanya was printed in 2018, and that is the only time he was printed in 2018 is in the museum collection. So it's a little rare. People like to call his 2019 Chrome a rookie. It's not his true rookie. That's not it. So right now, he's a must-buy. If you can get your hands on his true rookie card, I mean, if he wins here, he really has cleaned out the division multiple times. He's already considered one of the greater middleweights of all time. And he doesn't seem to be slowing up. The guy takes fights. The guy shows up. He's boring sometimes, yes, but he's winning. And he's just adding to his legacy. This is a big one here, just because this guy holds the 2 victories over him. We know it's a different stage, different platform, but still, this is a big one. Bejeda, just so much fun, but I can't put the buy on him. First, he's only printed as a Panini Instant, and even though I do feel this fight's easier for him to win versus some of the other guys that he might have had to fight to get to Adesanya, I think like Vettori and Whitaker, that
Vettori is not a good matchup.
Right, there's a few guys that I feel like would really test him in a 5-round wrestling match. So I got to see when he's printed, where he's printed, and does he still hold the belt and everything like that. I'm going to put a hold on him. Dude is 35. I'm not saying he doesn't have a lot of wins.
I like Alex too, man. Don't get me wrong here. I like Alex, but I'm picking Izzy.
I'm loving Alex. How do I not? He's in the home state here with my man Glover. He's winning. He's finishing guys. He's got that meanness about him that you need.
No, he's a bad dude.
And he's poking fun at dudes. I don't know if you saw some of the stuff. He's out in Times Square with certain characters and stuff that Adesanya was calling him, showing him not. It's pretty funny. The guy has a meanness about him, and I love that. That's what we want. That you need love and hate for these guys to grow in popularity. I just think he came to the UFC a little late for me to put a buy on him right now. Whereas Adesanya's just steamrolling right now. Guy's still a little bit younger, still at the top of his game, but let's not spend too much time on that one. You guys got our picks there. Let's move right on to the next title fight. We got the strawweights. Carla Esparza plus 275 underdog for the champion. She's 35 years old. She's 19-6. She's on a 6-fight winning streak, beating Rose, Yan Xiaonan, Marina Rodriguez. And also, she is the queen of split decisions. This girl loves to get the judge nod 2 out of 3. It's very weird how many splits she has, but she's got a lot of them. She's going up against Zhang Weili, ranked number 2, minus 330 favorite right now, 33 years old, 22-3, and her last fight was that brutal back-to-back fist of Joanna. And before that, those back-to-back losses to Rose. The first one, no question, head kick. The second one, extremely close. She made a few little mistakes where Rose got the decision in that one. But, Tom, how do you see this one going down? Clearly, the bookies have the miniature bulldozer Weili winning this one. What do you see?
The champ is plus money, as you would say?
Yeah, this is one of those ones that I don't like, though. I don't like you. I almost always.
Well, that's even worse. When the champ is plus money, you go with the champ. But I'm going to do that. I'm going with the champ here. I'm going with Carla Esparza. It's interesting because age-wise, they're just the opposites of the other one. Israel 33, Weili's 33, Alex Pereira is 35, and Carla's 35. So you have, I would not say these people are not young. You're not talking about like a Blanchfield here. Blanchfield's 23 years old. We'll be covering that later. But you know what? If she can avoid getting slept, because Weili's going to look to finish her. I mean, Weili is mean in a way when she gets out there.
She's very
looking
mean
to finish. She's a very nice personality, but when she gets in there, she's looking to finish, and she's looking like pretty ripped up too. I mean,
my
Carla,
gosh, she looks disgustingly ripped right now, Weili.
Yeah. And Carla always shows up really tough too, in shape as well. But I'm going to go with Carla here. If she doesn't end up losing by strikes, which is definitely a possibility, but I'm going with Carla here by guess. Decision. I'm going with Carla by
Split decision.
Hey man, could be. Could be.
I normally I am. I got to put money on the champ, but Carla's not the champ that I want to put that money on. She doesn't finish any of these girls. I think she's got one finish in those 6 victories. She's split decision, so it's a little different there. Because I mean, we're talking a not her versus Rose. What happened? Nothing happened. Gosh, that was a boring fight. Her versus Marina. I think I had Marina in that one. She beat Yan. That's the one where she got the crucifix. Yes, but a lot of these, I'm like, you just don't know. She's not decisively winning any of these. There wasn't even like 6 majority decisions. We're talking like 3 or 4 of those 6 were splits. That's why. Otherwise, yeah, I like to take the champ if you get plus money on the champ most of the time. But Zhang was also the champ, so that's a big factor here. I think it's Zhang Weili all day. Carla though.
It's funny because Carla is one of the ones who had the belt and then returned to it, and I think that was some type of, it's weird because a lot of these girls end up being 2-time champs. Like if Weili gets it back, she'll have had the belt and get it back. Rose could potentially do that.
Rose would be a 3-time champ.
Yeah, it's weird because they're kind of like passing the belt around in this division.
Carla was the first ever strawweight champ.
Right.
So,
but she got it.
She got it beating Rose in the very first championship fight. Yep. I don't know. She's susceptible to getting the nod though. So, but I'll be honest, Weili, she's semi-susceptible to be taken down, but she's been in camp with Henry Cejudo. Her wrestling's definitely getting better. Her jiu-jitsu's definitely looking better. And she's showing vast improvements. And all that time off, I'm sure we know Weili's in the gym. There's no question that chick is training and training and training. So I'm not worried that she's not going to be improved for this fight with wrestling. I'm sure she's going to be very improved with her takedown defense and all those aspects of her game. She's working with one of the best. I don't love Cejudo, but the guy was a freak show. You beat Demetrius Johnson, you're great.
He's a really good coach.
Great coach, yeah. So, the other thing is, Weili seems to be the stronger girl here. She moves forward all the time. She's like a little tank out there, like I said. She's not going to be doing any of that dancing, avoiding takedowns at all costs like Rose did, where you might see that's kind of split decision. I don't think we see that again here. I think we see the finish. I'm taking Weili to knock out Carla in the second round and reclaim the title.
Woo!
And then we go right into the card market here. I think Zhang is a buy. I think she has a massive market following her. I think she has KO power, which is rare for the smaller women. I think she's printed in tops, but I think Prism may be the best card to get her in. Just throwing that out there. She doesn't have a ton of cards in tops, and Prism, she has some beautiful cards. It might be better to go after her Prism than her tops rookie, her true rookie. She's printed in some crappy top sets. Carla, even though she's belt, she's the champ, there's almost no love given for Carla. She's boring, and her card prices reflect it. Sell her while she has the belt. I mean, she's the underdog again. She's been the underdog all these title shots. So you just gotta. They're telling you something. They want her out. They're gonna get her out. And just be careful. We already saw what happened last week with all these guys under investigation for throwing fights. I don't know if I even sent Tom the articles on that with.
Is that the one with
Derek Minner? Yeah, you checking. So just be a little careful out there, guys. They're doing some investigating right now. Now moving right on. This is the people's fight right here. We got the lightweights. Dustin Poirier, ranked number 2, minus 210 favorite. He's 28-7, won no contest, 33 years old. His last fight was that loss to Charles Oliveira, where Charles just looked on fire in that fight. Those guys lit it up, though. He's going up against Michael Chandler, ranked number 5, plus 180 underdog. He's 36 years old. He's 23-7. And his last fight was that crazy kick to Tony Ferguson. Yeah. If you haven't seen that one, I highly recommend you go back and watch that one. It won't take you that long. Actually, it's
Tony was looking good too.
Tony did look pretty good in that one for a second there, and Chandler shut that one down. Actually, it's brutal to watch. It's so bad.
It's basically almost the same one as the next guy we're going to cover, where Cheeto kicked Edgar in the mouth as well.
Right.
It was very similar.
We'll cover that one in a second. Tom, Poirier Chandler. In my mind, this is a 50-50 split. Bookie's got a 2-1 Poirier. Where are you going?
I mean, honestly, I'm with what you just said, man. I think this is going to be fireworks. I really have no idea who's going to win. Uh, Fight of the night for me here, especially on the main card. But I think it's going to get fight of the night because these dudes are going to go at it. Dude, Michael Chandler, if you ever want to talk about, you talk about Whaley being ripped and insane training, kind of like Holly Holm, insane training. Dude, this dude, Michael Chandler, trains like a madman. Just go to his Instagram and take a look. This dude is in ridiculous condition. He's like obsessed with it, man. He is a training machine. Now, we know Dustin's tough as well, man. He's always going to come in, and Dustin's a scrapper. I I would be willing to bet, and I'm not encouraging any betting or anything like this, but in my mind here, I would bet on a finish. I think there's going to be a finish in this fight. I do not think we're going the distance, and I'm going to have to go with round 2, Dustin. But I could see it going the other way too,
this
Mike.
is tough.
But I'm going with Dustin.
All right,
2.
yeah, I have a really, really hard time just even going back watching some of these fights. These guys are both junkyard dogs. That's really the right word for it. Both men have good hands. Both men have very good chins. Both men have very good cardio, and they both have the will to win. Honestly, I don't love either side because both sides can win. Both sides can get the KO.
Oh, yeah.
I honestly I really don't know. I'm leaning on Dustin. Though, I got to be honest, if I'm putting money down, which I probably will, but we don't do any of that on this channel, I'd probably take Chandler because you're getting almost 2-1 money on Chandler here. But I'm picking Dustin for the show. I just think Chandler will give it his all, but Dustin likes that dirty, nasty fight a little more than Chandler likes it, I think. He loves getting hit and being in that close, dirty boxing range, and he does so good when it's at that range for him. Like, I always say no to Dustin. Like, I think he's going to lose. And then, like, he gets in those wars, and his attrition is freakish, and he comes out on top. Even though I could see Chandler getting a first-round KO, second-round KO, third-round KO.
First round's going to be wild.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it going either way at any point in time. But I'm picking Dustin for the show. When I get to the thing, I might change my mind.
By what?
I think he knocks him out in the second round. I think that's how I'm seeing it.
All right.
I think both men, these guys are top guys. I think both men, though, are holds for me. Chandler got to the UFC a little late in his career is my main problem with him. If he would have got here when he was in his prime, I mean, he's 36. He still looks great. But if he would have got here when he was, like, say, 28 and had a real shot at circling that belt a few times, he probably could have gotten it. The guy's that good. It's just we're talking one punch, one shot, and you could be eliminated in the lightweight division. And that's what's happened to him. But Dustin, I don't know. I just, at the same time, he's just not active enough for me. He goes for the big money fights. I don't blame him. Go for the big money fights. Make the money. But as far as the card market goes, I got to keep the hold on him for that reason. Otherwise, I could switch it to a buy. He's just not active enough because he probably could have already circled around to get the Islam fight as soon as Islam's ready again. I mean, the guy's always right around the top. He's always winning. He's just not active enough for me. But both these guys long term, you never know. We'll wait and watch it out. Next fight, we got, as you mentioned it before, bantamweights. Frankie Edgar, ranked 12, plus 185, 41 years old, 24-10, one draw. He's won out of his last 5 with the loss to Marlon Vera and Corey Sandhagen. And I'm pretty positive he said this is his retirement fight. I believe he's a Jersey guy. He's fighting in New York. He's 41. He's been losing a lot. He realizes this is it. This is the time. He's going to step down after this fight. He's going up against Chris Gutierrez, minus 215 favorite here. 31 years old, 18-4-2. Last 7 fights, 6 wins, 1 draw. And he last beat Dana. Tom, another really tough pick here. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, Frankie's 10 years a senior. Gutierrez is 31. Frankie's 41. Gutierrez hasn't lost. His last loss was 8 fights ago. The dude's been on a run. He had 1 draw in there, but basically 6 wins and a draw. I mean, he's on a run. He hasn't tasted a loss in a while. I've said this before. I thought Frankie, up until the point where he lost he got knocked out to Cheeto. If that would have been a decision, if he would have been able to finish up that third round, I think it would have been a very close decision because I think that potentially he could have been judged to be up 2 rounds at that point. He would have lost that third round, but that second round was up in the air. So, it was close. And Cheeto is like at the very tip top of the mountain, man. He's up there. He's like circling a belt shot right now.
Absolutely.
So Frankie isn't that far off. Frankie's just calling it a day, man. He's one of the pound for pound, in my mind, pound for pound, top guys like historically in the UFC, man. The guy has done so much, and he was never that big, and he's always been very tough, and he's moved a couple weight classes, I think like lightweight 145, moving around a little bit, but he's always been very tough. He always fights bigger than he looks. But I'm going with Frankie here, man. Wishing him the best. Finish strong in New York. I think I'm hoping he can get the decision win here. He's just got to avoid getting slept. That's the key here. So avoid getting slept, but I'm going to go with him by decision.
Yep, just want to shout out Greg Sills is in the chat. What's up, Greg?
Greg.
All right. This is really tough. I like all the points you said. I'm leaning Gutierrez here, though. He seems to really be improving when he goes out there. We already know he's got great leg kicks, and he's starting to show other weapons now. He's got better hands now. His wrestling's getting better. He's improving all around. You could tell he's taking it serious. He wants the money. He wants to move up. Frankie, I agree with you. He was very close to beating Marlon Vera. We don't know which way it would have went. I believe the judges had him up. I think 2 judges had him up 2-1, or 2 rounds going into the third.
To 0
right, to 0.
Yeah.
And then I believe 1 judge had it 1-1. So it's very possible. We just don't know. 41, going down in weight. What's left in this guy's tank? Lightweight champ. Featherweight champ. We know he's not going to be the bantamweight champ, but as you mentioned, if he would have beat Marlon Vera, could he have been the bantamweight champ? I mean, he was right there. Marlon Vera is cream of the crops right now. I mean, who's he got to beat? Aljo? Guys just...
Maybe Sugar.
And
they might do it
they
again.
Might do it again.
He might do it again.
He's getting better and better, too, man. That guy's leaps and bounds every time you see him. I mean... I think the leg kicks are going to be the difference here. I think he's going to get those leg kicks, try to inhibit Edgar from wrestling so much, and I think Chris is going to edge out a decision. I don't think this is going to be an easy finish. I think Frankie still got it at 41. I mean, I easily see a lot of hard work trying to tire him out. Round number 1, wrestle, maybe even get Gutierrez down a couple times in the first round. But then I think round 2, round 3, he should be able to stay on his feet. He should be able to get his timing down. Leg kick, low leg kick. You don't want to go too high where he can get you in a single leg and take you down. But his hands are getting better if he needs to just stand up with him. All around, Gutierrez is improving. Gutierrez looks a lot better. And retirement fights don't always work out too well for these guys when they know it's coming. But that being said, Frankie Edgar, 41. Guy's legit still. But Frankie in the card market is a buy for legendary status, but I don't see any big price jump. So if you want Frankie Edgar, you can buy him today. You could buy him tomorrow. You got a little time until we see him inducted into the Hall of Fame, because he will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Yeah. But I don't see any major movements up except for time when his cards just get scarcer and they don't print him as much. We're not getting all those autographs and everything like that. Guy, like I mentioned, multiple time champion, multiple weights. Just creeps up over time potentially. The market comes back and everything like that. We know we're in a big dip. Now, Chris, he's got to beat a few ranked guys, and then we could talk about him again, see what he gets printed in and everything like that, and we'll reevaluate then. All right, we're going over the lightweights. We're going over Dan Hooker, ranked number 12, minus 145. He's 32 years old. He's 21-12, and he's also 1 out of his last 5, losing to Arnold Allen and Islam Makhachev last. He's going up against Claudio Puelles, plus 125 underdog. He's 26 years old. He's 12-2. 5-fight winning streak, beating Clay Guida, Chris Grutzmacher, and both of them were wins by the knee bar. That's just a freakish move to get in the UFC. You don't see that very often. To get some Clay Guida in the knee bar out of all people, kind of crazy. Because Clay's another one of those guys, an ageless wonder. still kind of had it there, man. The guy still
Yeah.
looked pretty damn good. Took a beating and kept beating guys. Crazy. Tom, what do you see in this one? Hooker, Puelas? Is Hooker done?
Yeah, I don't know. Claudio's 26 years old. Dan's 32. Dan could really use a win here, man. He's been kind of in the need of a win here. He's definitely a bad dude, and I would say he's towards the top. Him and Clay are definitely the two best guys that Claudio has ever faced. So he's right up there with Clay. Like, I think Clay versus Dan's a pretty solid fight too. Uh, I could see Dan winning by decision here, but you know what? I'm gonna go with the underdog Claudio, and I'm gonna say, even though Dan knows it, that he's gonna get a knee bar on Dan anyway. Round three.
Yeah,
Round
I
three.
mean, listen,
I'm going with a Claudio knee bar. Round
I don't
three.
hate it because I want to say Hooker's done, but dude is 32. He's training with some of the best guys in the world. He's over with Adesanya. Volkanovski comes in. They got Brad Riddell. That camp is stacked. And he's like the top guy over there. He's not the top guy, but
It's kind of like the captain.
yeah,
Almost.
he's the captain of the team over there. Is this guy really done at 32? Yeah, he doesn't have the same chin anymore. I definitely agree with that. Now, Puelas, he's also looked really good in his last couple fights. Somehow, I don't know how he gets those knee bars locked up, but can he do it again? Hooker still looks good on his feet. Let's not sleep on that. He still looks pretty good. Arnold Allen lit him up, but he got a few nice shots in there. Islam, we saw, is just at another level. I think Hooker's the bigger guy here. I think he's the stronger guy here. He should be able to avoid getting taken down so easily. I'm taking Hooker here. I think if he doesn't get it done here, though, going all the way down in the rankings here, I'm concluding he's taken too much damage and he is done, and he should just quit UFC. You can't go 1 out of 6.
Just move to the coaching, man. Stick with that.
Yeah, go
if it doesn't work
coaching.
out here, but hey, we'll see.
We're talking. We're going from Islam and Allen all the way down to Puelas. I mean, I'm not ripping on Puelas. The guy's been on a roll too, but you're talking fighting current champ versus to an unranked. So if you're not beating any of these guys, man, you got to step back and reevaluate for a while. But either way, I'm not buying either of these guys yet. Puelas with a win will be on my radar, but these guys are still both sells in my mind right now until I see some real damage from Puelas, not just a knee bar. We get it because he's not going to be able to take those top guys down and get knee bars on him, even though it's surprising he got it done to any of these guys. All right, let's move on. Light heavyweights. Dominic Reyes, ranked 7, minus 205 favorite. He's 32 years old. He's 12-3. 3-fight losing streak, though. Yuri, Jan Blachowicz.
Oh, the monsters.
John Jones. And before those 3 losses, though, he was undefeated, just steamrolling guys. He's going up against Ryan Spann, ranked 12, plus 175 underdog, 31 years old, 20-7, and his last fight was beating Ian Cutelaba. Tom, I mean, another really tough call here, really evenly matched in my mind. What do you got?
I mean, this one is, in my mind, a similar. It's not going to be the same pace, I don't think, but it's a similar fight like we just said about Mike Chandler and Dustin Poirier. I personally think this fight will not see a decision. I think someone is getting finished in this fight as well. And Dominic needed a break, man, just for his brain. He fought. He had Yuri. He had Yuri in some serious situations there, man. Dom is no joke. And then he got caught with that spinning back elbow. You know who likes to do that in this card is Meatball Molly. And he caught Dominic flush and put him out. But Dominic is no joke. He took a year and a half off pretty much since the last time he fought was like May 2021. He's never been subbed. What I think he should do, if he doesn't get slept by Spann, which is a possibility because he could get knocked out,
Absolutely.
I think he should go for the takedown and look to finish round 1. Take Spann down and beat on him from there. And, you're either going to get the ground and pound or the sub. That's what I'm predicting. Round 1, take him down, get the finish, Dominic Reyes.
All right, yeah, I mean, I see this as 50-50 split in my eyes. Reyes gets beat by 3 champions in a row. I mean, Yuri is the champ. Blachowicz was just a champ, and Jones surrendered the belt to move up in class. So, I mean, you give him a pass? Maybe. But Spann has never lived up to the hype. Superman Spann. But yet, I mean, these guys...
He's a bad dude, too.
These guys
this is a good fight.
It's a good fight. These men are only a couple fights away from being right back in the top 5. I think the light heavyweight division has became one of the weaker divisions. The other divisions are just so stacked. Light heavyweight, yeah, they got a great top 5, but it drops off where these guys can bounce right back up into the mix with 1 or 2 victories here. I think this doesn't go the distance. I agree. I think Reyes bounces back and KOs Spann, though. I'm with you. I mean, Spann has 7 losses, 5 by finishes in his career. So the guy normally gets finished if he's going to lose. If Reyes doesn't bounce back here, though, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets cut. That's all I'm saying. But I'm taking Reyes. I think he sleeps Spann. Spann's got slipped by, like, Johnny Walker, some bad guys. I don't know. I'm not buying it. I'm not on the Spann wagon, So, I'm not buying either man in the card market, though. I got to sell on both of them. These guys got to do a lot of circling up for me to get back on the buying wagon. All right, now let's go to probably going to be the loudest walkout in the arena fight. We got women's flyweights. Erin Blanchfield, ranked number 12, minus 390 favorite. She's 23 years old. She's 9-1, and we know her only loss was in 2019 to Tracy Cortez by split decision. All right, so she's coming off beating JJ.
And that was in a different organization.
Right. But she was also like 19 years old. She was a little kid. Yeah. And she was going up against Cortez, who's pretty damn good in the UFC too. I don't think Cortez has a loss yet. All right, but she's coming off beating JJ Aldrich and Miranda Maverick, where she just... Man, what she did to Maverick was pretty incredible. Maverick is very strong and very talented. We just saw that in her last fight. She should have finished that last fight. Different ball game. And we even saw JJ.
She did well, though. She kept going for it.
We saw JJ not beat...
She's actively going for it,
beat JJ. Just, she sits down on her mouthpiece and trades. This girl is unbelievable. She's going up against Molly Meatball McCann, though. Ranked number 15 now. Plus 320 underdog. She's 32 years old. She's 13-4. 3-fight winning streak, beating Hannah Goldie and Luana Carolina last. And both with the spinning elbow shot, as you mentioned. She's really improving a lot. Molly came in and didn't look good for a while. And she's disciplined herself. She looks really good lately. But, man, Blanchfield. Tom, what do you see happening?
Who was that last week that called out Molly McCann, even though she has a fight this week? She called out Molly.
I don't remember now. Someone did call out Molly. They want that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who the heck that was. But anyway, hello. She's got a fight this week. You're gonna have to wait a second.
Well, that's perfect timing. Then. They both fight, and then you get Molly.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Like Mark said, Blanchfield only 23 years old. Molly's not very old either. She's 32 years old. But in this game, 32 is about. You're kind of at. You're not having a life crisis. 32 is about that midlife. What do I see here? Oh, by the way, Blanchfield also has a 4-inch reach advantage, which is worth noting if they're getting to the striking game here. Another thing is this is the first big card, that Molly's been on some really big cards, but every time Paddy Pimlet's been on as well, and he's going to be there for sure, but he's not actually fighting on this card. And I'm wondering if that's going to have any play in it at all, as far as just her having to go out there and Paddy actually not going out there this time. But maybe he'll be in walkout with her. I have no idea. Those two are pretty tight, so we'll see what happens with that. If Blanchfield can avoid the spinning back elbow or some type of big strike by McCann, because, it could happen at any time. You sleep for a second, get caught with one of those things. It could be the beginning of the end. But I'm going with Blanchfield here by sub, round 2, or a decision. I think this is a big fight for both these girls, though.
Yeah, I just
Know what
took
I
a
mean?
look. It was either Pollyanna Viana or Miranda Maverick called out Molly Meatball. Those are the
Oh
two.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's one of those
One
two.
of those two. And Polly looked damn good. But Polly fights at a smaller weight, so it had to be Miranda Maverick. Um,
Mm.
so Maverick wants next. I like that too, though. All right, this is
That
really.
could work out though if Blanchfield wins because Blanchfield already beat Maverick, and if Maverick wants to take Molly now, that could work out. Even though Molly's coming off a loss, it still could work out in her favor because she's going to get a lot of looks. Molly's got a bigger fan base than Aaron Blanchfield by a long shot.
Oh, she's got a bigger fan base than both of them combined right now with the Barstool world and sitting in Patty's corner and everything like that. She's big, yeah. I think this is scary because Molly's been getting better and better. She looks very good, and you're getting great money on her. Plus 3-1, plus 320. But no way am I betting against Erin Blanchfield. This girl is super special, man. 23 years old. You can almost smell future champion in this girl. She's got a little bit of work done. I mean, I don't see today her being the champ, but a few more years, a little stronger, a little leaner, a little better hands. This girl is going to be a problem.
And she was coming out of Henzo Gracie too, which is right at NYC.
She's
So she's kind of training right there, anyways. I
right.
think.
I mean, even a small setback like a loss to Molly here, people kind of going to scoff, but it's not that big of a deal. She's 23. Like, she can take a loss and still climb right back in. It won't be that hard for her. I think we see a submission here, though. I think Molly uses up a ton of energy in round one trying to get her out, and I don't think she does. I think Blanchfield knows how to avoid the big shot and do what she does best. Get it in the clinch mode, get her to the ground. That girl is strong. That girl is super strong, man. She doesn't look ripped, but we saw what she does. She is strong, and her top control is something to behold. Most guy would love that kind of top control. Once she gets them down, they don't get back up. She's talented, man.
Mm.
Listen, I'm taking Blanchfield. I don't know what round, but I see a submission, probably round 2 or 3. Blanchfield for the win. I mean, standing guillotine choke, like things like that, you don't see a lot of that stuff. What, one freak show on Draj or something like that gets ahead? Like, Blanchfield's doing those things. She's got that kind of power. She understands the leverage. She understands all the maneuvering of it. Youngest, right, for Tony's invitational there. I mean, she's talented. Now, I'm going to say she's not printed, but I'm a buyer on Erin Branchfield when she does get printed. This is pre-printing. We're putting the buy on her. 23, talented, not a super hard division to creep right up to the top in. So you got to figure, you got to take that girl. She's got to have a buy rating. Molly, worth a small spec play here. I don't think we see her as a champion, but you just don't know. You never know. If she can beat Blanchfield here, she's gonna shoot right up. Let's put it that way. She's shooting right up into the top if she beats Blanchfield. She'll probably skip almost 10 spots, even though Blanchfield's only number 12. But that's a tough win there. So I see it happening just right up. You know, they want new blood for Valentina, so we'll see how it goes. All right, gentlemen, that's all we got for today's show. And appreciate you joining us. And we'll see you guys